Hi, everyone. No need to adjust your screen. Liz is out today. It's actually her birthday. So if you get a chance, be sure to wish her a happy birthday. And Adrian Rafizadeh on my team has decided to sub in instead. Thanks for doing this, Adrian.
Thanks, Matt. Happy to be here.
Adrian, you want to tell people a little bit about who you are and what you do in the office before we dive in?
Sure. Yeah. So as Matt mentioned, I am in fact not Liz, but I am excited to be doing this. My name is Adrian. I am a policy analyst in the council member's office. I work on policy areas like homelessness and mental health, and also put on cool events like Chat with Matt. So yeah, happy to do this today.
Yeah, and you're one of our tech gurus. So I'm sure this recording will go flawlessly.
Let's hope so.
So should we jump into yesterday's council meeting?
Yeah, let's do it. It was a short one, wasn't it?
Yeah, we've had some meetings recently go until 11, even almost midnight. And yesterday we had a really thin agenda, which was a nice change of pace. So we really only had a couple of items that are worth updating on. But yeah, happy to get into it.
Yeah, let's do it. So the first big one was about vaccines in the county and the city. It was this huge report from the city manager. Do you want to maybe jump into that and tell us what's going on?
Yeah, so every month at least, the city manager and his team give an update on our COVID response. And this month, the focus was on the rollout of vaccinations. And I thought the most interesting aspect of the report was the fact that our county is only getting about 1/3 of the doses that it has the capability to deliver on a weekly basis. So our county estimates that it could get out about 200,000 doses per week. It is getting closer to 70,000. So we clearly have supply issues. I know the state has been trying to move supplies around to where they're most needed, but the reality is we just don't have enough. And so while the restrictions on who's eligible to get a vaccine are being lifted, in fact, on April 15th, so just over a week from now, anyone over the age of 16 will be able to get a vaccine. There's just not enough supply. So I would anticipate that it's going to continue to be slow, taking weeks probably to get an appointment. And overall, it'll still be at least a few months before we've gotten to that point where everyone who wants a vaccine will have gotten one. So that was kind of the big theme. And so we're all hoping that the supply levels go up. They should continue to ramp up, but right now that's the big constraint.
Got it. So it seems like, the county and the state are having some issues with supply and distribution. So I'm wondering, you are a city council member of San Jose. So what can we do as a council and as a city to smooth this over?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the county really has the primary responsibility for the deployment of vaccines. We are helping with outreach. That's really the unique role the city can play. We have half of the county's residents within our city limits. We have our 10 council districts where the council offices have a pretty good sense of kind of the different neighborhoods, and we're in touch with many community members. So we're doing our best to share information about when and where and how to make a vaccine. The city's placed a real emphasis on doing targeted outreach, including even door-to-door canvassing in parts of East San Jose, where we have vulnerable communities that may face language barriers or are having a hard time getting an appointment scheduled. And so doing a lot of targeted outreach, and it's something I'm trying to get more information to see if we can even do a District 10, and trying to figure out if we have neighborhoods where the percentage of people who have been vaccinated is lagging, because we know that those areas, of course, could be potential outbreak points, which affects everybody. So we want to make sure everybody has access to the vaccine, knows how to get an appointment, and I think that kind of awareness and outreach is really the city's unique role.
Yeah, so within District 10, are there any sites in particular that we're really lagging that need more help and focus?
It's a good question. I mean, that's what we're trying to figure out. I've just asked the city manager. We have census tract data, which is typically, I think, a little bigger than a neighborhood, but it would give us a sense of where we might be lagging. I know traditionally we've sometimes had challenges with service delivery to neighborhoods like Hoffman Viamonte, which is just off Almaden Expressway near Blossom Hill Road. That would be a great candidate for a neighborhood where maybe our team could partner with the city manager's office to do a bit of outreach and just make sure people are aware of how to make appointments. But I'd say to hold on that, because we don't have the data yet, but we're trying to find out.
Great. Yeah, well, hopefully we can get the vaccines out as fast as possible and get them equitably to those who really need them. So that's great. All right, we can move on to the other big item of yesterday's council meeting. So the city auditor put out a report on San Jose PD and basically how they're able to connect sexual and domestic violence survivors with resources. So I'm wondering if you could maybe expand on that.
Yeah, and you summarized it well. The auditor did a review of how San Jose Police actually, communicate the available resources to survivors of domestic violence, and found, as you would expect with any large bureaucracy and large population, some areas for potential improvement. So being more consistent about how the resources are communicated. Language accessibility, of course, we live in a beautifully diverse community with a lot of different languages spoken. And so language access was a big part of the report's recommendations, which makes a lot of sense. I asked questions about different methods of communication. So we, standard operating procedures to give people a card that has information on it, which makes sense. But I asked, are there options for texting, for example? Pretty much everybody these days has a phone, is very comfortable communicating via text message. Seems like another opportunity. Sounds like there are some resources there, but maybe we can better advertise them and resource them, staff them to make sure they're available to folks. There's also a hotline, but really just standardizing the way in which the department helps survivors know what's available, and just making that outreach more consistent was really the main theme of the audit. And the response from the police department was that they are working on most of those recommendations already. So sometimes audits find these big kind of bombshell, like we're doing something entirely wrong. This was not that case. This was a case where we're just talking about kind of refining the way in which we support domestic violence survivors. So yeah, that was about it. It was a pretty light meeting. Those were the two big items yesterday.
Yeah, and it sounds like a common theme between the two is all about increasing accessibility, and resource availability for certain underserved communities and getting the word out to those in need. So it sounds like there's a pretty cohesive theme between those two items.
Yeah, it's a great insight. And I think that's right. I think a lot of the conversation about equity that we're having, I think many people in our cities having, is that you just can't take a one size fits all to everything. And I think language is one of the most obvious ways in which treating everything, doing everything with a one size fits all approach, just using English, is going to leave a lot of people out and mean that we are less effective in delivering services and benefiting our community. And so, rather than try to get everybody to be exactly the same or have this kind of uniform approach, we have to differentiate how we deliver services to different communities to make sure everybody benefits from the services the city provides. And ultimately, in the long run, that's a good thing for everyone, because if everybody has access to high quality services, our whole community is going to be stronger and safer and healthier. And so, yeah, I think that is a common theme that comes up and was certainly very present in yesterday's items.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Well, there was a short council meeting, so we have a short recap video as well. Sounds like we'll just wrap it up here then.
Perfect. Thanks, Adrian. Really appreciate you stepping in, and well done.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Take care.